Back in 1991, lead designer Noriyoshi and Yuzo Koshiro were discussing the idea of creating a street fighting game that was similar to the Final Fight and Double Dragon titles. This beat 'em up would end up as Streets of Rage and was released for the Sega Mega Drive and Genesis. In the game you play as one of 3 police officers, Adam, Axel and Blaze, who try to stop a crime syndicate led by Mr. X. All of them play slightly different. Adam is the strongest with powerful punches and kicks, Axel is the most balanced character, and while he can't jump as good as Adam, he moves much faster. And finally, Blaze is the most agile out of the 3 police officers, but is also the weakest. The combat is not that complex, you will quickly get familiar with all of the combos at your disposal, but the game constantly throws new challenges in your direction, so fighting enemies never becomes boring. My favorite character to play as is Adam, as his powerful attacks make it easier to finish off the incoming waves of enemies. There are a total of 5 enemy types that are not too difficult on their own, but when they gang up on you, you can easily lose lots of health, since this game is quite challenging. But the bosses are by far the most challenging opponents, and they appear at the end of every stage except for stage 7. I found Onime and Yasha the most challenging out of all the bosses, as they are extremely agile, and dealing with 2 of them at the same time is also no easy task. Once you reach the end of stage 8, you get to face Mr. X and decide to join him or refuse his offer, but accepting his offer sends you back to stage 6, and once you return you still need to fight him, so it's better to refuse his offer if you don't want to redo stages. To make the combat easier, you can pick up weapons such as knives and baseball bats, making it easier to deal with large groups of enemies. But to deal the most damage you have your special attack, which summons a police car that shoots explosives, so you can only use it once per stage, and if you're lucky you can find another special. If you want to heal up, you can hit objects in the environment for some apples or beef. And I was always glad when I found some healing items, since you will need every bit of health you can get in order to beat the game. The visuals still hold up, especially thanks to the colorful character designs and environments that make it very appealing to look at, especially for a game that is over 30 years old. But easily the thing that does hold up the most and what is the best aspect of the game is the phenomenal soundtrack. Yuzo Koshiro has done an excellent job to create absolute bangers despite the sound limitations of the Sega Mega Drive. Beating the game with all 3 characters took around 4 hours, and this was actually my first time playing the first Streets of Rage. And I had a great time, mostly thanks to the fantastic soundtrack. While I still prefer Streets of Rage 2 over this one, there is no doubt that this game is still a lot of fun to play, and I highly recommend you to play it, especially since you can also play it with a friend. You should certainly check it out, just for the soundtrack alone.